The Principality of Theodoro, also known as Gothia or Gotho-Byzantine Principality of Theodoro-Mangup, was a small principality in the southwest of Crimea and both the final rump state of the Roman Empire and vestige of the Crimean Goths until its conquest by the Ottoman Turks in 1475. Its capital was Doros, which was also sometimes called Theodoro and is now known as Mangup. The state was closely allied with the Empire of Trebizond and was distinctive for its East Germanic population. History. Its population was a mixture of Greeks, Crimean Goths, Alans, Bulgars, Cumans, Kipchaks and other ethnic groups, which confessed Orthodox Christianity. The principality's official language was Greek. The territory was initially under the control of Trebizond as part of its Crimean possessions, the Khazarian Peritaia. The Principality of Gothia is first mentioned in the early 14th century, with the earliest date offered by the post-Byzantine historian Theodore-Mangup, who records the existence of a Prince of Gothia in the reign of Andronikos III Palaiologos. Further references occur over the course of the 14th century, with several scholars identifying the Dimitri, one of the three Tartar princes in the Battle of Blue Waters, with the Prince of Gothia. The name in this case may possibly be the baptismal name of a Tartar lord of Mangup named Kuatani. The name Theodoro appears for the first time in a Greek inscription also dated to California, 1361 halves, and then again as Theodoro-Mangup in a Genoese document of 1374. It was suggested by A. Mercati that the form is a corruption of the Greek plural Theodoro, the Theodores, meaning saints Theodore Stratilates and Theodore Tiro, but N. Banescu proposed the alternative explanation that it resulted from the definitive Greek name Tau Delta Omicron Rho Omicron Sigma Tau Delta Omicron Rho Upsilon, after the early medieval name of the region. Whatever its provenance, the name stuck. By the 1420s the official titulature of the prince read Lord of the city of Theodoro and the maritime region, while colloquially it was called Theodoritsi by its inhabitants. The principality had peaceful relations with the Golden Horde to its north, paying an annual tribute as vassals, but was in constant strife with Genoese Khazaria colonies to the south over access to the coasts and the trade that went through the Crimean harbors. A narrow strip of the coastal land from Yamboli in the west to Alustan in the east, initially part of the principality, soon fell under Genoese control. Local Greeks called this region Parathalasia, while under Genoese rule it was known as Captainship of Gothia. After they had lost harbors on the southern coast, Theodorites built a new port called Avlita at the mouth of the Chernaya River and fortified it with the fortress of Kalamita. On the 6th of June 1475, the Ottoman commander Gedikahmet Pasha conquered Kaffa, and at the end of the year, after 6 months of besieging Mangup, the city fell to the assailants, while much of the rest of Crimea remained part of the Crimean Khanate, now an Ottoman vassal. The former lands of Theodoro and southern Crimea were administered directly by the Sublime Porte. Princes of Theodoro. The first named princes Demetrius attested c. 1362 at the Battle of Blue Waters. He is possibly to be identified with the Hecatontarchs Kuatani, who erected the stone inscription mentioning the name Theodoro on the walls of Mangup at about the same time. The princes following after Demetrios are known solely through Russian sources. The Prince Stephen emigrated to Moscow in 1391 or 1402 along with his son Gregory. His patronymic implies the existence of a father named Basil, who possibly preceded him as prince. Stephen and Gregory became monks, and Gregory later founded the Simonov monastery in Moscow. The Russian noble families of Kovrun and Golovin claimed descent from them. In Gothia, Stephen was succeeded by another son, Alexios I, who ruled until his death in 1444, 5th of 1447. Alexius' heir was his eldest son John, who was married to Maria Sanina, a lady connected to the Byzantine imperial dynasty of the Paleologoi and the noble lines of Asans and Zamplakon. The couple had a son, also named Alexios, who died young c. 1446 7th, probably at Trebizond. His epitaph, titled "To the Prince's Son," was composed by John Eugenikaus and offers unique genealogical data on the family. John's reign appears to have been very short, or he may indeed not have reigned at all. The Vassiliev speculates that he left Gothia for Trebizond as soon as Alexios I died, so another son of Alexios I, Olibe, succeeded as prince in c. 1447 and ruled until c. 1458. A daughter of Alexios I, Maria of Gothia, became in 1426 the first wife of the last Trebizondian emperor, David. Olibe is no longer mentioned after c. 1458, and no princes are known by name for some while. Genoese documents only mention the lord of Theodoro and his brothers. In 1465, Prince Isaac is mentioned, probably Olibe's son and hence possibly reigning already since c. 1458. In the face of the mounting Ottoman danger, he engaged in a rapprochement with the Genoese at Kaffa and wed his sister Maria Sanina Paleologuina to Stephen the Great, ruler of Moldavia. His increasingly pro-Ottoman stance in later years, however, led to his overthrow by his brother Alexander, with Stephen the Great's backing. This came too late to save Theodoro. In December 1475, after conquering the other Christian strongholds along the Crimean coast, the Ottomans captured the city after a 3-month siege. Alexander and his family were taken captive to Constantinople, where the prince was beheaded. His son was forcibly converted to Islam, and his wife and daughters became part of the Sultan's harem.